Hello, and welcome to our instructional design project on sound blending in kindergarten by Cody Leist and Danielle Peck. So my name is Danielle. I'm studying Masters of Learning Technologies, and I have a bachelor's in English from the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. I have a 6-year-old son who's actually in kindergarten and currently learning sound blending.
And my name's Cody Leist. I am also in the Master of Learning Technologies program, and this is my final semester. I have a BA in communication from Capital University, and I have a 4-year-old daughter, actually just turned 4 this past weekend, and dealing with some speech impediment and working in speech therapy to correct her speech capabilities as well.
The problem in learners. So the main thing that we want to remember, and this is data that we got from one particular classroom out of one particular school in the Southwestern City School District, only 11 to 15 out of 24 students are able to accomplish the following tasks. Recognize the most common letter pairs, identify all letters of the alphabet, state the letter sounds, and use sound blending to identify unknown words. Instruction on these topics occur every single day, and the knowledge that they gain out of this by learning sound blending can be applied in all aspects of their lives. Content analysis. So we decided to use task analysis to break down the target skill into its essential components, which is letter identification, letter sounds, and segmenting. This minimizes cognitive load because we can focus on one component at a time instead of throwing it all at them and overwhelming the student, keeping in mind that we are working with 5- and 6-year-olds in kindergarten. This maximizes engagement because with fewer learning goals, the students feel less pressure. Overall purpose and learning objectives. So we came up with 3 learning objectives to master sound blending, which is our overall goal. When presented with a letter or a pair of letters, students will be able to name the letters and make the correlating sound. When encountering an unknown word, students will be able to segment the word into its letters and correlating sounds. When encountering an unknown word, students will be able to use sound blending to identify the word.
And what we want to do is we want to look at what kind of learning design model that we're wanting to incorporate into our instructional design program, so that way we can make this as successful and as evolutionary for future classes as possible. So we're wanting to use the SAM model, the successive approximations model. And as you see here in our section, we want to go in and we have different phases with preparation, iterative design, and iterative development phases as well. Again, we want to start with the background and information gathering. That's what we've done already. From there, when we move into the iterative design, we look at the design process, then building a prototype, and then reviewing to make sure that we have the necessary pieces and parts together to make this a competent and not say flawless, but a worthwhile program to implement into the field. From there, we go in, and once we've developed that pilot program, we're able to go in and look at the development process, then finally implement it into a larger stages and in larger groups. And then we're able to go in and build our evaluation and gain a greater sense of knowledge from our evaluations of what we did right, what we did wrong. If we have to, we kind of move over into development if necessary to kind of tweak things, or if we feel like something went wrong and we completely missed the boat, we kind of go back into that iterative design phase to kind of make sure that we've got everything back into a sound production stage. So we go in, we look through the content overview and learning experience. We want to go in and again, we're dealing with 5 to 6-year-old kids. We want to make sure that we are dealing with the easy to difficult sequencing method, making sure that you give them the confidence, build up their confidence in knowing, understanding the different themes, different patterns that are coming with this type of testing, this type of evaluation to go in and eventually allow them to grow into their sound development in sound learning to make sure that they can progress into the next stage of life. We want to make sure that we use scaffolding. Uh, we have we want to make sure we use scaffolding principles. We want to make sure that the formative assessment is sound, and then we want to make sure that we're using explicit instruction in order to hit home that we're not trying to we're trying to make sure that the students or the learners are able to fully grasp what is being provided to them. One thing we have to understand is, especially from the time that Danielle and I were their age, everything has evolved into more digital, more user tools with technology, making sure that we have stuff that has a fully immersive GUI or graphic, a graphic user interface model. So that way they can go in and play, even it gives them the ability to play outside of school hours, to build that uh, desire to keep on learning, to keep on growing in their educational years, their formative years, because this is an opportunity to learn and become the greatest sponge. And then we want to make sure that this is accepted as a motive, the need for acceptance as a motivational factor. You don't want to be that kid that goes in and is stubborn because they can't learn something. If you can go in and find, if you are provided all the tools in the world to grow as a student, to grow as a person, I mean, wouldn't you want to go in and do that? That's what we're trying to do here, is trying to find what is it that in with the students in this particular subset that we're looking at that can be able to learn to improve upon from previous kindergarten classes to make sure that they are the better classes and can continue to evolve and be that standard bearer, to be that peak or that turning point for their district. And lastly, we want to look at the thorns and roses that we have, the roses and thorns, I should say. We want to look at the positive first, but I feel like so far in this project, we've been able to go in and create a responsibility chain between Danielle and myself has been pretty well, understanding our strengths and weaknesses ourselves. And then having the appropriate amount of research that we have at our fingertips shows that there is prior knowledge, there is prior curiosity from different groups saying that they want to go in and learn and further this type of education. One thing that we're looking at here is time constraints, because we're at the third quarter of a elementary school's year. So we're kind of in that later stages. If we had implemented it more in the first quarter of the year, then we'd be able to gather more data. We'd be able to do a more fully in depth and full breathe out the possibilities with this program. And then also you're looking at again, we're looking at theory and practice of this type of instrumentation. We have a lot of ideas in theory. Finding the right tools to make sure in practice takes a little bit of time to go in and make sure we can find the right tools, to find the right items to make sure that our students and our learners are able to be tested in the greatest sense of our planning and make sure that everything works well. So, Danielle, anything else you want to say before we complete?
No, you covered everything very well. Thank you everyone for watching.